On the WGBB Tony Award special, we have a Tony nominee that we're talking to from one of the most interesting and certainly musical and hippest shows on Broadway, and certainly of the season, Passing Strange. He's the guy who's playing Stu when Stu was younger, and learning all about his life and what he expected from life and what life expected from him. And I think meeting the expectations of any Broadway audience would be our guest, Daniel Breaker. Daniel, welcome.
Wow, thank you. That's a heck of an intro. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. And it's quite a pretty terrific performance. I've seen Passing Strange twice now. And
terrific.
Appreciate it even more the second time of just what you really go through, because you don't really go from being a wild-eyed innocent into this man of experience. It's a different kind of show than that. Why don't you tell folks what this character goes through?
Well, gosh, I mean, it's so complicated and so simple at the same time. You know, it's at its simplest form. It's merely a coming-of-age story to watch this kid go from sort of a 14-year-old adolescent and then sort of coming into his body in his 20s. But I guess the way it's done is so unique. Like, we watch him explore Europe and all the things that come from that, the sex, the drugs, and the rock and roll.
Now, going by, or judging by the way you present, and also from your bio, I have a feeling your life was kind of different from Stu's growing up.
Yes, a little bit. I mean, yes and no. I think the things that are sort of close to my life is that I grew up in Germany. The kid goes to Germany and play, and I spent a good amount of my years in Germany. My dad was in the military, so I did travel quite a bit. I also do have a bit of an understanding of this idea of masks that this kid in the play puts on. I think that was something that I sort of had to find with myself in order to survive going through these different, going from school to school, as a kid.
I don't know if this is your first musical, but most of your training and experience, by choice, tended to be Shakespearean. Yes,
I love my Shakespeare. This is actually my first professional musical. I think the last thing I did was HMS Pinafore up at Berkshire Theater Festival. So this is my first professional musical. But Shakespeare is my first love. I think that's it's always been, I love language. And oddly enough, doing the show is not so different from Shakespeare. I think both Stu and Shakespeare himself have a sort of love for words and language and sort of natural musicality in their language. So it's sort of home, just slightly different. Just a guitar instead of I don't know.
Well, since this is your first professional musical, how different is it rehearsing for and also playing for a rock musical as opposed to a Shakespearean drama or comedy?
Well, actually, singing in front of people is still something that makes me very nervous, whereas Shakespeare, for whatever reason, doesn't. So it's been a bit of a ride because I've had to get over that last sort of vulnerable side of me that is afraid to sing out in front of people. But also, what's great is that Stu is so laid back, and it's all about making music. So there's been no pressure on the show. It's just been about having a lot of fun, and he allows me to bring my ideas to the table, and he's just been very encouraging. So it's been a fun ride.
And also, even if you are nervous when singing, that character spends most of the entire show not quite comfortable in his own skin. So
which is great. So I can
I
can tap into my old like the little Daniel that was very shy and scared. So it's actually a big relief to be able to be awkward for a little while.
And do you remember what you auditioned with to get the role of Passing Strange?
I did not audition. I actually the show, it was out at the Sundance Theater Lab back in 2005, and the actors that are asked to go out to the theater lab do two shows. They sort of have a large part in one show and a smaller part in the other show. I went for a different play, and this was sort of my secondary play. I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know who Stu was. I got the script and fell in love with it. So it just sort of fell into my hands. It's something I didn't audition for, and I guess I should start doing that now. I should not audition for things anymore.
Every actor prays for that. They pray for that moment when they no longer have to audition.
Oh my gosh, yeah, one can dream.
Or it falls into their hands. And what would you say is your favorite moment in Passing Strange?
It's not. I don't really have a favorite moment because the whole thing is divine and exciting. Some of the greatest moments are when the audiences really join in on the fun. I think a lot of times people don't know what to walk into with this show, and when they realize that it's something that they can have a great time with, that's fun. Like that is a sort of a high. So it's just like, the 2 hours that I'm on the stage are the fun.
And I guess probably other people have asked this, but have your folks come to see you and close relatives, and what do they think when you do the song like We Just Had Sex? Or you have to deal with some issues that are,
Well, first off, my parents are my biggest fans. They've seen every show I've done since I graduated from college. So they have a great time. I mean, it's still sort of drawing for them to see me talking about songs like We Just Had Sex and about getting stoned. So that's hard.
It's not quite not quite Dromio of Syracuse.
Yeah, not really the same there.
Well, cool, but they accept it and they know, and it's totally cool.
Yeah, they love it. They're just happy to know that I'm happy doing what I want to do.
Cool. Now, not quite a fair question, but have you seen the other shows that other nominees in the category of Best Featured Actor in a Musical are in?
No, no. I mean, that's the unfortunate thing about our schedules, about the Broadway schedules, that everybody's shows are at the same time. The only thing I did see was In the Heights, and I thought it was phenomenal. And Robin DeJesus is a sweetheart, and he's my Facebook friend, so we talk and we see each other all the time. But he was a dear. He was great in the show too.
And how long are you expecting to? I mean, assuming the show's a hit and possibly wins a Tony or a couple of Tonys, including possibly one for you. How long are you scheduled to be with it?
Well, it's an open-ended run, so if all goes well, we'll be doing it till I'm old and gray. I'll be playing a 14-year-old at 50. Let's see if that works.
Well, you're playing a 14. How old are you now?
I turn 28 tomorrow.
Okay, well,
June 2nd.
You are double.
Yeah, I guess so.
Was it weird tapping into to try and make believe that you are a 14-year-old, or could you go there so easily?
No, it's actually a lot of fun. I think I love sort of physical work in a show. So it was fun to sort of find the sort of awkward things that this kid would do. He'd put his shoulders forward and he wouldn't make eye contact with people, and he would sort of try to wiggle out of situations. So it was just fun playing that kid and being in there.
Cool. And since you're only 28 and you've been acting, obviously, at the Shakespeare Theater for a few years now, did you have jobs in the workaday world, or was it always the arts?
The last job I had was working the census back in 2000.
Meaning, you knocked on doors? And
yeah, I knocked on doors in Jacksonville, Florida, on the steamy August afternoon. So that was my last gig.
And did you have like that gypsy moment of "As God is my witness"? I'll never do this again.
Yeah, I was glad that was over with. The money was good, but I'm glad to be getting paid for doing something that I truly love.
Do you still take classes, and do you still study and do any of that?
No, I don't really take classes. My inspiration, I guess, my education is from seeing other shows and also seeing the arts not in my not what I do. So I don't do opera. So I love to go to the opera and get my inspiration from there. I go to dance or I go to museums. So it's just sort of I get my inspiration from other places. Now,
going back to something that we were sort of dancing around a little bit before, of what you decide to do and your Shakespearean bent. You were approached by a few agents coming out of the Shakespeare Theater, and you could have gone into a more traditional, for actors these days, TV, film direction. I mean, you've done commercials, so you're making money that way. But, I mean, there was this kind of a real decision for you not to get a sitcom kind of thing?
Yeah, that wasn't really my desire. I didn't think that was going to be my plan. I'm so comfortable on the stage. Like it's just fun on stage. And that's not to say that I will not explore the film and television world at some point. But I just I love my Shakespeare. And also Juilliard was based on the classics, so I thought, well, I gotta try the classics out.
Cool. Well, we are finishing up our delightful conversation with Tony nominee Daniel Breaker of Passing Strange. Kind of curious, have there been any really cool visitors backstage? Any famous celebrities or musicians who kind of said hi at the end of a performance?
Gosh, it's been endless. Bette Midler, Diana Ross, Harry Belafonte. It's been Mario Van Peebles, Dave Chappelle.
Whoa.
Whoopi Goldberg. It's been endless. It's been a lot of fun. Spike Lee's seen it maybe 5 times now.
And have any of them said something that was really amazing, or did a funny thing or an anecdote that stands out, other than they're just physically being there, like, whoa, they're there?
Yeah, well, honestly, some of the amazing things are the advice that they give us, which is really lovely. For the most part, they all say stay together. There's a lot of buzz and there's a lot of excitement going on, but the most important thing is the ensemble and keeping the family together.
Well, I want to thank you for joining the WGBB Dave family, as it were, and being part of the WGBB Tony Awards special, and certainly wishing you best of luck tomorrow night at the Tonys. Daniel Breaker, break a leg.
Thank you so much.